Hi everyone, Corey here from Tales from a Polk County Girl, and in this video I'm going to be doing the author tag questions. As you guys know, if you've been following my videos, I've gotten back into writing. I've started following a couple writer, vlogger, or author tubers, I guess they're called. And one of them did the author tag, and she put the questions down in her discussion box, and so I decided I wanted to do it too. So if any of you guys are writers, I will put the questions down below, and feel free to do this tag yourself and then put the link to your video in the comments. That way I can watch it. Okay, question number 1. And I printed them off and actually answered them because I did this a while ago, just only now getting around to filming the video. Okay, question 1. Where is your favorite place to write? Honestly, the kitchen counter. The way my house is laid out, especially if I'm here by myself before my husband gets home from work or whatever, just being at the kitchen counter, I'm kind of in a central area in the house, and I'm more aware of what's going on around me than if I'm back in our computer room. Do you like coffee or tea? Both, but with a big but. I love the smell of coffee, and I love the taste of iced coffee. But hot coffee lately, and I don't know if it's just the creamer I was using. Plus, I don't drink decaf. I drink, as my dad always called it, high test. And the caffeine, I feel like I'm vibrating. Like, after 2 cups of coffee, I feel like I am doing this, even though I'm not. Tea is my go-to now, right now. It's also more calorie friendly. One of the reasons that I switched from coffee to tea 3 months ago. It's about 3 months. I've had some coffee recently, but I went for about 2.5, 3 months without coffee. Is I figured out that one of the reasons why I was drinking coffee is I really like peppermint patty, or the York peppermint patty creamer, or some of the high calorie cream. That one's particularly my favorite, but some other yummy high calorie creamers. And I didn't really need to be drinking probably a 1/4 cup of creamer every day with what I would put into my coffee. So I'm trying to stay away from that. But I have had it on occasion. I think I had my first cup of coffee in 3 months was last Saturday, June 30th, and I remember drinking it, and I had leftover hazelnut creamer in the fridge, and it was still good. It hadn't gone bad. And I just remember drinking this cup of coffee going, yeah, I've either gone off hazelnut creamer or I just don't miss this. Oh well, I go through phases. I didn't drink coffee for the longest time, and then there were times where I was making several pots a week. So yeah, ebb and flow. Now, question 3. What is your favorite book of all time? The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgkin Burnett. I still have my childhood copy. I read it so much that at one point it was falling apart. And before I learned to do book repair as a librarian, the library I worked in at the time, and I actually still work in, I asked the person that would eventually train me in book repair if she could fix it, and she did. So I still have my original copy. Question 4. NaNoWriMo, yes or no? For those of you that aren't aware, NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month, and it takes place every November. I almost said September. Every November. And the goal is to write a 50,000 word novel in 30 days. And that averages out to like 1,666 or 67 words, depending on how superstitious you are about the number 666. I have never completed NaNoWriMo, but I've also never really participated in it like you should. In 2015, a few days into November, I decided, I'm like, hey, I'm going to try NaNoWriMo, and I started writing a story. I still have the pages that I wrote because I didn't write them on the computer. I was writing them by hand. And I just stopped after a while because I completely, I did no prep for it, decided late that I was going to do NaNoWriMo. November had already started. And it is a story I do want to write. I need to go back and like really outline it and actually figure out what I want out of the story. So I started it in 2015, but didn't really take it seriously enough. So I've never completed one, but also as far as I'm concerned, I've never actually competed in one with proper intentions. So I'm thinking about trying to do it this year. I've got the sequel to my first novella. I know a novella is shorter than a novel, but I figured if I could get everything, if I could get the outline done, the character sketches done, and figure out everything I wanted for the book 2 in this series, that maybe I would take November and challenge myself to try to get it written. So we'll see. What genre would you write if you had no restrictions? Thriller and suspense. I actually do love reading these to a point. There are some things that my brain just can't handle, but I do like suspenseful stories. I'm not very good at writing them, so I would need to really work on that if I was going to try to write those. If you could have one superpower, what would it be? This is question 6. Teleportation. Mainly, it just cuts down on travel time. I'm a really bad traveler, and I want to get to my destination like yesterday. Pretty much the only way I really do like to travel is maybe by train, and I think that's because I live in Central Florida, and if anytime we want to go into Orlando right now, and it's not even snowbird season, but I-4 is just constantly backed up and traffic all around the Disney exits, and it's gotten really bad within the last year. And being in the car for an extended period of time, to me, is just frustrating. Also, planes, come on. Airplanes suck. I mean, yeah, they can get you thousands of miles away in a few hours, but come on. TSA. Think about it. So yeah, I'd want to be able to teleport. So I really like that. Plus, if I could just do it without like the teleport pads from Star Trek, like I could just like snap my fingers and I'm at my parents' house, or I'm at my in-laws' house, or I'm at Publix or something like that. And what if I could do that while holding a bag of groceries, and that way I teleport as well as the groceries. It's stuff I've thought about. Okay, question 7. Who's your favorite author? Jane Austen. But I have not read all her books, full disclosure. I've read Pride and Prejudice several times. I tried Sense and Sensibility, but as a friend put it, when I really couldn't get past chapter 3, you really have to be in the mood to read Jane Austen. I have the audiobooks of both Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion, and Emma. I enjoyed Persuasion. Hated Emma. Hated it. I'm probably going to get some flack for that, but that's okay. It's okay. Let's see. Also, Northanger Abbey. Let's see. Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Persuasion, Emma, Northanger Abbey. I'm missing one because she has 6 novels. And I can't remember it. I really can't, and that's bugging me. I say she's my favorite author, and I can't remember all her works, but I haven't read Northanger Abbey either. So, one day I will, but I haven't yet. Question 8. What kind of music do you listen to when you write? Sometimes I put on Pandora, and I have this nature music sounds channel where I get, like birds chirping or a creek babbling or something like that. And sometimes there'll be soft piano music or violin music or cello music accompanying it. And I love that. But lately, I told you I was following some author tubers here on YouTube. One of them, her name is Vivian Reese, and she told me about, or in one of her videos, she talked about listening to ambientmixer.com, and I've checked it out and I like it. So I like the some of the Great Hall, like studying for your OWLs in the Great Hall, or the library in Rivendell one. They also have nature sounds on there, and it's pretty cool. And I have several of them saved on my favorites list. That way I can just go straight to it. Question 9. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? Honestly, I'd stay in Florida. I'm Florida born and raised. I love this state. I love the heat. I love the humidity. I like traveling. I said I'm a bad traveler in a previous question. No, I'm bad at getting there. Once I'm at my destination, I enjoy myself, but it's getting to the destination that I have problems. I do like to travel. I've gone to England several times, gone to Louisiana, New Orleans several times, traveling to other states to see family members. I've got an upcoming trip to Italy that I'm really looking forward to. I'm just not looking forward to the plane ride. Stuck in a little metal tube with recirculated air, and we're all like squished in there because this isn't the 60s anymore with Pan Am, and I can't afford a first class ticket, so travel is not as luxurious as it used to be. So I love the heat, love the humidity, love the sun, so I'm staying in Florida. And final question, question 10. What do you do when you get writer's block? Honestly, I work on a different piece. I'm not a monogamous writer. I don't just work on one single piece at a time. I normally have at least 3 different works going, and they vary from either being different pieces of fiction, different pieces of nonfiction, some combination of the other. Like when I was a college student, I would have classes on Monday and Wednesday, then Tuesday and Thursday. I would work on book 1 or story 1 Monday and Wednesday. Between classes, I would go to the library and I would just sit at the table and I'd sit there and write. And then Tuesday and Thursday had a different story, different notebook. So that allowed me to really write 1 or 2 books a year, like school year wise, that way. And that really helped because I wasn't always thinking about a single plot line. And even now, I finished a short story that I did a couple edits on. It went to some beta readers, and I've just now gotten their feedback back. But in the meantime, I'm working on another short story. I'm sketching out ideas for future stories. I have, what do I call it? My kitchen adventures book, where I talk about what it's like in my homesteading kitchen. And then I mentioned the book, the sequel to my novella earlier in this video, and you know, that's churning around in my head. So if I ever get stuck working on one particular piece, I can just jump over and work on a different piece. I don't have a problem with that. Because I know that some days my brain's just not feeling story one, but I know I can go do the write-up of the first time I ever made pesto from all the herbs in my garden, because that was so cool for me in my kitchen adventures book. So it's stuff like that. Do whatever works for you. All right, that was all 10 questions and my answers. Thank you for watching. I'm going to put the questions down below, so if you want to answer them, you can. And if you do answer the questions and film it, please leave the link below. I'd love to see it. So again, thanks for watching. I will see you guys later. Have a nice day.